Talkin' Country. You're listening to Talkin' Country with Paul Taylor.
Hi, welcome to my channel, Talking Country, where we'll be chatting to the stars of country music from around the world, whether it's in Nashville, Australia, UK, Ireland. You'll get it here first. If you like us, subscribe and give us the big thumbs up. Hopefully you enjoy it. Well, folks, on the line now, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, is Zoee. How you doing, Zoee?
Good. How are you doing, Paul? Nice to be here.
It's great to have you on board. And like I said, a brand new single just released a couple of days ago called It Aint Love. I mean, are you excited?
Oh, I'm so excited. It's been such a long time since I put anything out too. Before the pandemic hit, I was doing a release, every 6 or 8 weeks. And I kind of you get into a bit of a rhythm of it. And it's everything stopped when the pandemic hit, obviously. So this has been the first release I've actually done since all of that happened. And I was a little bit nervous to put something out. And it was sort of a different spin on a sort of sound that I kind of have changed a little bit, I guess you could say. I've been working with some amazing people and I found a whole bunch of other different styles and sounds. So I've been being very creative and the pandemic allowed me to do all of that. So it was very nerve-wracking to put it out, but I've been really grateful for the response and the feedback so far.
Oh, brilliant. And it's co-produced, co-written by a good friend of mine, Mr. James House.
It was indeed, yeah. I kind of started the idea, and we started writing online in the middle of the pandemic. That was how we first originally met, and we ended up just writing a ton and dealing with the whole Zoom lag. He was in the country, I was up in Scotland in the country, and it was joyful. There were some very fun hair-pulling moments, but we eventually got together in person in real life and started writing together, and it was like, wow, this is how it feels to work in person again. This is kind of weird. There's no delay. You can say things and it's all like instant. And so we ended up writing a ton more in person as well, and this one was one of the songs that came from that.
So there's a lot more coming around the corner then.
And he's an amazing writer. Sorry?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot more coming around the corner. Oh, brilliant. I know he's...
Well, I'm living here in Nashville now, so it's plenty of stuff on the front. It's been pretty busy.
And has it started to liven up more and more now as the months are ticking on from COVID?
I think so. Yeah, I think people are starting to get back out on the road a little bit, and I think writers are happy to be back in a room again, and yeah, I definitely think it's starting to open back up again, which is nice.
And you were at the Bluebird.
Creatives, as you well know.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. But you were at the Bluebird, weren't you, a couple of weeks ago? Yeah. How was that?
I was, yes. Amazing. I've been fortunate to play the Bluebird just a couple of times now, a handful, and it's just such a treat. Everybody's so beautiful and kind and quiet, and they just sit and listen, and it's it's an iconic, legendary venue around the world.
Yeah.
And I played a couple of rounds there with James, and we had Danny Flowers in the rounds, and Ray Stevenson in there for a couple of them, and it was just fantastic sort of atmosphere and environment. So I feel very blessed to be in a group of people who are so nurturing and caring of what I'm doing.
I think it's important for an artist, and we always say about the support bubble, obviously family, friends, but from a professional point of view, is getting great people around you who's actually been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirt, and they know the pitfalls and what really works.
Right. That's very true. And I think the industry is there's no formula that works for everybody. And you definitely have to figure out your own, errors and faults as you go along. And it's very much a trial of passage as well, when it's also finding your voice and finding how you want to talk to the audience and finding your audience. So there's a lot of different variables, and it's nice to have people around, as you say, that can kind of help show you, those paths that they've walked that might sort of help you navigate yours. But I've been really grateful to have worked with some great people of late. Jeffrey Trott, I'm in the middle of writing with him. Jeff Cohen, he's amazing, such a kind person. Steve Dorff, Kyle Jacobs.
Yeah.
There's been some amazing people, and obviously James. So I've been really fortunate. I've actually got a co-write today with Jamie Floyd. That's later this afternoon. So there's an amazing amount of talent and people that are just kind of jumping on the back of what I'm doing, and they're saying, let's get together and let's do something. We want to help you build this career, and we want to help you write songs. And
Oh,
it's
wow.
been for me such an honor to have such a great response from such incredible people. So yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's brilliant. And obviously originally from Australia. Which part of Australia?
Right down the very, very bottom, down in Tasmania. So the nearest stop after that is Antarctica. It's like further
Ah,
south.
my cousin lives in Tasmania, and yeah, they emigrated. My auntie, my uncle, and my cousin Mark emigrated to Australia in Perth. Back like all the English just went to
Right.
Perth, didn't they? Oh, way back. I mean, he was only a little. It was in the late '70s, early '80s, and
Yeah.
sadly, my uncle passed away, and my auntie's going through dementia, and we lost contact with her. So I was trying to find my cousin, and he emigrated to Tasmania, and I found him on LinkedIn, and he was working at now.
Of all places.
Exactly, just to see what's going on. I was going to go over there to try and find my auntie a couple of years ago, and we found her now, thank God. But I was trying to get in touch with our Mark, and I couldn't believe where he works. I live in a place in the north. James knows that because he's been here, St Helens in Merseyside near Liverpool,
Oh yeah.
and he was
Hmm.
working at in a hospital called St Helens Hospital in Tasmania. But he was from St
Wow.
Helens.
I know
How
St. Helens
spook,
very well.
dear.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
really crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
You could never have planned for something like that to have been the case, could you?
The
Isn't that
stars are
funny how
aligned.
life just unfolds things like that in
I
curious
know.
ways?
But I mean,
Wow.
from Tasmania, I know
And I was
Australia. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
no, I was just saying how fantastic it was. You found him on LinkedIn and
Yeah,
beautiful as
Facebook
well.
now and all
And
that. Like, yeah. So
beautiful.
he's got a family and he's grown up and all that kind of. I was quite a few years older than him,
Oh,
but it's quite interesting that you say in Tasmania because I think you're the first country artist I've spoken to from Tasmania. I've spoken to many in Australia, like Travis Collins, Lee Kernahan, all them kind of people. That was a hotbed
fantastic.
of Australia's a hotbed of country music in its own right, isn't it?
I think we're very, very much like America in that sense because we are such a big country, and I mean, geographically speaking, we're pretty close for size. But as far as country living, we're very much um, we love to be outside. We love to be out in nature and with animals and all that kind of stuff, which is very similar to what the Americans have in that sense. And so it's been, I guess, a real I don't know, very very much a brotherhood kind of between Australia and America in that sense. So the music, I guess, is very similar. Um, but yeah, it definitely resonates. It seems to resonate here, and I definitely think I'm probably one of the very few Tasmanians here now. I think there's only one other that I know of, but that's a very small batch.
I mean, so long, I could just see now your merch saying the Tasmanian Devil, on the merch.
Oh, that's so funny because I actually used to get called that on stage because I was always bouncing around on stage
There you go.
doing stuff,
You
and
can have that
they'll have
one.
the Tassie Devil and Looney Tunes, the spinning thing.
That was it. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
the lunatic.
thank you.
That's yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
merchandise there.
Tasmanian
It's
Devil. Love
mine.
it.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it.
So
So how did it all start? How did it
I'm
all
gonna have to get some shirts, and you're gonna have to have your name in the corner of that for those.
copyrighted? And how did it all start for you then, Zoe? I mean, what was that moment where you went, right, this is my path?
It was always music was always a huge part of my life. As a kid, my parents had a massive shipping container full of records and cassette tapes, and so I remember going into there and just pulling out records and just going and listening. We lived out in the middle of the country, so we were 5 hours from anywhere really, and we didn't have any TV, we didn't have any mobile phone reception, we just had radio. And my brothers and I, we were homeschooled, and I remember just being fascinated with music, always fascinated with music. And from Mel Haggard right through to AC/DC, there was a ton of different genres always in the house too. Mum was always listening to Jimmy Barnes and all this, really edgy stuff. And Dad would have like Mel Haggard and this one and that one. And there was this beautiful array of sounds as a kid growing up. And so that definitely inspired my ear. Personally, I'm a huge fan of Rod Stewart, so there was all this other side of his music as well. It wasn't all just country or rock and roll. There was a ton of sounds. So I remember as a kid just always being fascinated by that, and I eventually found a voice I didn't know I had, and I eventually found myself in Nashville over here now, writing music with all these amazing people. It's been a very, very long journey. We lived in the UK for 6 years, and we toured over there through Europe and through the UK, and back and forth to Nashville, and one thing led to another, and it's just amazing that it's all led to here. It's incredible.
Oh, it'd be great to have you back over here, really, and it'd be great to catch up with you as well. So, Rod Stewart, you mentioned Rod Stewart. I'm a huge fan of Rod Stewart personally as well. One of my favourite albums. When they say like Desert Island Discs, one of my favourite albums is Rod Stewart, Blondes Have More Fun. Love that album.
Oh gosh, that's one of my favorites as well.
Hey, were you?
The best. And that
Um,
voice is just so timeless. Oh.
I think it's a good album because each song he covers "You Keep Me Hanging On" and his own style. And I think it's just nice rather than belting out hot legs and wiggling his bum. It was like very, very melodic, it was very.
That was such a visual image. Thank you for that. I'll carry on through the rest of my day with a smile on my face from that.
That's how James got his stage presence. It was looking at Rod Stewart and his bum.
It's that hair too, right? Exactly. I love that.
Yeah, he had the '90s vibe thing going on. But no, what's around the corner? Obviously, new music coming, and any more live performances lined up?
Oh yes, back at the Bluebird. Funny enough, I'm in the middle of putting together a new music video for this song. It's been a very interesting, fun journey. I like to do all of my own video editing, so I've been at the computer for the last couple of days, kind of learning to color grade, which has been joyful. For any of you guys out there that know what color grading is like, you'll understand my pain. But no, it's coming together really well, and it's going to be out very, very soon. I haven't got a date set for that, but yeah. Then more songs on the front. I got more singles coming out, and dates are coming out on those too. And then it's all in leading up to a brand new EP, which I'm pretty excited about.
Oh wow!
So
I think
that'll
that's the
all
way
be
to go now,
coming up.
isn't it? Singles, EPs, then album, and it's just like dipping your toe in the
Yeah.
water and getting people to know you, and then bring out more and more, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I mean, albums are such a nostalgic thing for me, but it does seem like people are enjoying instantaneous songs now, and that's where singles are so great for that, because people can just add them to their playlist, and it's done and dusted, and it's quick for people, because people's attention spans these days are tiny, so why not make it easy for them? Yeah.
I know what you mean. I'm singing myself, like just do covers and stuff. But I was down south recently over the weekend, and I played this place probably about 10 months ago. But I played it several times over the years. But it is quite a drive away. And I turned up, and pretty much near enough everybody said, "Oh, you've never been here before?" I went, "Yeah, about 10 months ago, and a couple of years ago, and a few years before that." "Oh, really?" I said, and I just said, "I like to make an impression, you know."
I love that. Yeah. It's funny, people, that's so true. You've got to repeat stuff before people kind of get it in their head. And I guess that's why you see the same ad on YouTube 27 times before they decide to change it.
Oh, I hate
Keep
YouTube
imprinting
with
it
the
in.
ads. Oh, I hate the YouTube ads. It drives me up the wall. But they're just trying to get you to subscribe, aren't they? But there you go. But my last
Yeah.
question to you, Zoe. Right, are you ready? This is going to be epic.
Oh, the drama that's already surrounding this question is scaring me. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, outside tonight, and it's safe to do so. You're having a fire pit party, and
Okay.
you're going out to invite, but only 6 people. But these 6 people, past and present, are people that's inspired you throughout your life. It could be family, it could be religious, it could be
Oh,
musical. Who would those 6 people be, and why?
6 people. That is such a tough question. Gosh. Well, why? We know one of them's going to be Rod Stewart. We've already established the hair
You
and
need
the
the wiggly
voice
bum.
and the
You need the
bum
wiggly bum.
wiggling.
Yeah, yeah.
We need. We can't not have that in there. So we've got him. Obviously, my family. They're a huge part of my inspiration for
Well, that one of them
electricity
can be all of your
and everything.
family. Let's.
Okay, can we do that? That's great. Okay. Olivia Newton-John. I was really sad to hear about her passing. It was heartbreaking. She was such a huge
And obviously James wrote
inspiration.
a song with her as well some years ago as well. I saw him put on Facebook.
Dude, you told me about that. Yeah, that's what a beautiful story.
I
Really
actually saw her
amazing
in
motivation.
concert over here when she'd just done Greece several months after Greece, and in Manchester, and she came on, and Labby Sifri was the support act. So at the end, more the encore, you're the one that I want. She come on with the leathers. Next minute, Labby
Oh
Sifri
goodness.
comes on as Danny Zuko with the leathers, and it was such a brilliant performance. And I had to share that on Facebook myself yesterday, and yeah, Sandra Dee's gone.
Oh, I know. That was heartbreaking, heartbreaking. So she'd have to definitely be one.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah. There's so many people. I'm just trying to think about. I mean, I listened to so much music as a kid. Um, Probably Bob Dylan, as far as a lyricist goes. I'd have to invite him around. I think.
Okay.
I mean, the songs he's written for so many people as well as himself. Oh goodness, Loretta Lynn,
Wow.
absolute big
Cool.
fan of Loretta. Um, and we've got one more, right?
Yeah, I'm going to drop a hint here because you might be in the company of somebody.
Go on. James House. I was just thinking about him. I was just thinking about him. I'm like, is it weird if I mention James because he's like written some amazing songs for people? He's like really cool.
But
Is it weird? But
you've
no,
got,
that would be
and obviously
brilliant.
no meat for James because he's vegan now. He's eating vegan cheese and stuff. And ask him about.
Absolutely. So
Ask,
it's going to be a real party.
do you know what his nickname? I don't mind sharing this with you. You know what my nickname was for James? Jimmy Five Eggs.
Do tell me, please.
Jimmy Five Eggs is his name. Let him tell you
What's the
why.
story behind that?
Well, every time he went down for
Okay.
breakfast, he just said, "I'll have 5 eggs," and the woman's going, "Anything else?" "No, no, just 5 eggs."
Oh, that's classic. Jimmy Five Eggs. That is so funny. All right, that's it. I'm officially going to have to call him that in the studio now.
Absolutely, absolutely. He'll kill me, but there you go. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Good luck with the single and everything coming your way. Amazing artist. It's nice to see people. It's all scattered around the world now, country music, far more than it used to be. Like I said, we're getting more and more used to Australian. I've got a strong link with Canada at the moment. I'm doing a lot of work with Canadian artists. Obviously, Ireland, UK, and it's so funny. In about 3 weeks' time, we're all going watching Garth, and England will tip up, and Dublin will sink because we're just all going to go on like a crusade, and it's going to be
Girls will be, yeah.
it'll be chaos.
Gonna be
But no, but and I say country music is global, and it's multi-genre now. I always say it's not just your grandmother got run over by a lawnmower anymore. It's more of you've got coffee shop, you've got coffee shop country where you can be in Starbucks and something's listening that blends itself with that. You've got obviously your
Yeah.
tailgate. Your tailgate and your bro, you've got your three chords and the truth kind of country, you've got your Americana, bluesy, and it's
Country.
all in the
Absolutely.
melting pot there. And I think artists like yourself, when I've listened to what you say your inspirations are, you draw. This is one of the reasons why I asked the fire pit question. You can see that you think about it, but you've got like Loretta Lynn in there, you've got Bob Dylan, and people who've done the craft, done the bit, paid the dues, and people have learnt from that and build. And then in years to come, they'll look at your music and go, "I've been inspired by that," and that's how it goes in a big circle, in a big melting pot.
That's so true. That is so true, Paul.
Enjoy, excuse me, enjoy your co-write today, and I look forward to seeing you in person.